Fellow Zimbabweans, fellow Zimbabweans, we now have to be getting to a place where we have got no time to be nice anymore. We cannot afford politeness. When we say Nelson Chamisa is useless, we mean it. He's useless. And that's an impolite statement. I know it's true. Freedom does not come with, with smiles and politeness. We need to be stern, we need to be strong and know where we stand. Because of our suffering, Nelson Chamisa should read our suffering and our pain and our need to have ZANU-PF and Edim Mnangagwa gone. So we cannot have him dilly-dallying or acting as incompetent as he does. We can no longer afford to be stroking Nelson Chamisa's ego or venerating a Triple C that is actually useless. The Triple C MPs who are now in a conundrum of whether they must stay in the parliament or must all pull out, when in actual fact, pulling everything out of this terrible government, oppressive government, is the way to go. But of course, they are thinking about their own stomach politics, and it will be hard to take the citizens to a place of victory when individuals are thinking about stomachs. There is no unity anyway in the Triple C since there is no structures and there is no clear chain of command. There is no system of governance or system of leadership in which we can clearly see that we can all rally behind. It's all about this one man, Chamisa himself, who's power hungry, who's already an autocratic dictator, even while he's still leading an opposition. What more if we give him all the power of the national glory? Clearly, we are creating another Robert Mugabe. We are creating another Emerson Mnangagwa in this Nelson Chamisa fellow. We need a true opposition that is truly led by citizens, that has got clear guidelines, clear constitutions, clear chain of command, and clear pathway of contributing towards our system of governance. Right now, in the Triple C, you cannot contribute anything because they don't want to listen to anyone. Whatever Chamisa says is what goes. Because I will tell you who Chamisa is. He's actually a front for some secret CIOs in Zimbabwe who believe that they are actually ZANU-PF in the first place. But if ZANU-PF goes, Emerson Mnangagwa goes, they're still going to express their Chizanu, but rather through Chamisa this time around. And there's no difference there. What we need to understand now, therefore, is that this secret organization, this secret CIO organization that is called Triple C, is not going to lead us forward. What is leading us forward is something that's going to be transparent. Okay, we need transparency and democracy within that opposing organization, so that we know that if it is transparent while it's still opposing, even when it takes the country, it will still deliver. We need now, therefore, to put together funding in the business class of Zimbabwe. We need proper funding, proper structures, and begin to make major inroads in developing relations with all stakeholders in Zimbabwe, including those that are in government, including those that are in the ruling party. For not everyone in the ruling party is happy with what is going on at the moment. A lot of people feel the president is taking the country as his own personal playground or personal farm, and it is he's enriching himself and his kids and those of his friends, and has neglected everyone else. We need to create those alliances, those bonds, my people, both in the left and in the right, both those who are in the elite and those that are marginalized, those that are in privileged positions and those that are not. those that are tribally abused, and those that are tribally advantaged, those that are in the country and those that are in the diaspora, those who have got no political connections and those who have got political connections. For we have got our talented Zimbabweans who, because they've got no political connection, are not able to save us as Zimbabweans. We have got good leaders that have not been undiscovered because there is no pathway in which they can fully express themselves if they do not know anyone or have not slept with anyone or not willing to sleep with anyone or to do any unconventional thing in order to be recognized. If we're going to create a successful state, we need to understand these kind of tenets to base our organization on good governance and clear uh, rules and regulations. That kind of organization must come out of the ground at a momentous time like this, when the country is in darkness, when the country is looking for clear leadership. Obviously, the president is not interested in leading Zimbabwe to victory. And Chamisa is dead as a dodo, seemingly clueless and bewildered at what is going on. He does not know what is going on around him. He's feeling things hitting him, but doesn't know what is hitting him, doesn't know where he's coming from, and doesn't know how to fight back. But doesn't know how to say, "Excuse me, gentlemen, let me step aside and let you operate a new Zimbabwe, deliver a victory for all of us. For I, Nelson Chamisa, no longer am able to carry the struggle forward." But his pride will not allow him to do so. Even the CIOs around him who are controlling him will not allow him to do so. For they are fully fledged, fully strongly geared towards taking us to the abyss. You think ZANU-PF has taken us to the abyss? Wait until the Chete Brigade bring the country down to the abyss even much further. So therefore, I call those that are in the church, I call the bishops of our churches, starting with the Catholic bishops who have been at the forefront of political fights historically. Even during the liberation struggle, even during the Gukurahundi, it was the Catholic bishops that had to write a report on Gukurahundi to tell the world of Gukurahundi until Gukurahundi was stopped. Imagine the mighty British Empire with all of its intelligence guys all over the world. They did not pick up that 20,000 people were being massacred in Matebeleland. Imagine that. You have to take Catholic bishops to get that to an end. And I do know that the role of the Catholic Church in Zimbabwe has always been pivotal and therefore has not come to an end. There is a special role that the Catholic Church has to play in the birthing of this new Zimbabwe that excludes Emmerson Mnangagwa and his oppressive regime. The boldness of the Catholic bishops was also expressed last month when they issued a joint statement denouncing the human rights abuses in Zimbabwe by this current government. And I believe that starting from there, starting from the church, which has got a moral high ground and has got an authoritative voice in the general population, we can begin to build about a general consensus in what we can do to carry the country forward. The Zimbabwe Council of Churches is an organization that includes all major stakeholders in the faith movement in Zimbabwe. I know that my pastor, Dr. Goodwill Shana, who used to be a leader of the Zimbabwe Council of Churches, and I do believe that he is still a part of it, and therefore we can start by working in from that direction. I know that church people are very nice people. They don't want to do bad things. They don't want they don't want to do messy things. But let me remind church people that the Jesus that we serve was not always a nice guy. It's not niceness that brings change. Holiness sometimes demands one to be stern. Jesus went into a church and turned tables around. Trust me, he wasn't begging them and say, "Hello, I'm the Son of God. Can I please overturn your table because I think that you are selling in the house of God? Can I? Oh, okay. Move aside." No, he was not doing that. Trust me, he was not doing that. And there's something I was telling someone at work the other day. When you read the Bible, Jesus keeps on saying, "Woe to these ones who do this, woe to those who do this, woe to the Philistines, or woe to Tyre and Sidon, blah, blah, blah." Do you know that direct translation to Ndebele of what that woe really meant? Bazogunya abayenza so, bazogunya abayenza so, bazogunya abayenza so. That is the kind of that is the kind of mindset that Jesus was in. He wasn't there to be nice. Okay. He was a revolutionist. The church revolutionaries need to know that the Christ that they are following was not like a sweet Jesus. It was not a sweet baby Jesus. He was stern. He wasn't arrogant. He wasn't proud. Perhaps I might come out as with too much pride, too much arrogance, too much know-it-all attitude. But Jesus actually did know it all. But he didn't have that attitude. But the point I'm saying, he was stern. All right. He was stern and did not take nonsense. And when he saw nonsense, abatshela abantu ukuthi nina nizoba senjeni. Yabona into engisho? No, he was not a nice guy. And the church now is to develop the feast of God. The feast of God is telling idim nangaka that is one I wanna eat in the name of Jesus. Shiva babachka. Cha, finish and cha. Ngasitshela into yokwenza. As we tell the people that are corrupting the country, when you collect taxes, the money must build roads. Oh, Wicknell Chivao, that fat guy who just keeps on getting tenders. We need to tell him that we are not giving you Wicknell Chivao a tender anymore in our new government. That's what this is the language that church people must use. And who is this other one? The Mavuku Tafara one. What's his name? Scott Sakopanya. The one who got a bishop in the church has died. A devil worshipper has killed the bishop in the church, and the devil worshipper is now leading the country. And you Christians are Unkulunkulu is waiting on you to express his nature through you. God is a God of war. That is the Unkulunkulu that we serve. He's a God of war. Okay? He's not a CC. Trust me. Go to hell, you're going to see that God is not a CC. Go to hell. Those fools are burning forever and ever. Rubber stamped by the Father Almighty. Don't play. Don't play. You see, I once made a video here when God was saying to me, tell these military generals in Zimbabwe that one by one, as they die, they are all going to hell. And many of them are in hell now. I remember the day when God spoke to me about one ZANU-PF guy who was in hell. And I didn't say that person's name because out of respect of the person's family. And God clearly spoke to me and said, that guy, he is in hell. And that guy didn't die now. He died in the late 1970s, before even independence. I was like, God, they haven't started stealing. Then God said to me, son, they started these sins in the 1970s. before even the country was taken. They were already sinful and doing all crazy things. And another one, whom also I will not mention, whom I know is in definitely, not definitely, whom I have seen spiritual is in hell. Another one of the ZANU PF leaders who has died. And this one, I know, I know what is in his heart right now. He is actually praying and hoping that the ZANU PF people that are left behind do not do what he did. Because the one day I was praying, as I was praying, we were praying in the spirit. The Lord showed me angels pushing my prayer, you know. And then behind those angels was this guy. I'm not going to mention his name. You all know him. He was a ZANU PF guy, powerful in ZANU PF, very corrupt. He's dead now. I can tell you, he is in hell. But I don't know who. I'm not going to tell you which one of them. He was at the back of those angels. The Lord was showing me. This guy was pushing me. Now, I do not know how that is possible because I do not understand it. It was the vision that God gave me. This guy was crying, like pushing my prayer that I pray for ZANU PF to do right. Because it appears as if the more oppressive ZANU PF is to the people, he also was suffering in hell. The more he was suffering in hell. It was as if ZANU PF stops oppressing people, even his suffering in hell was gonna be reduced or something like that. But I saw him I was praying in this very room. I'm making this video. In this very room, I was making this video. Behind me were angels, and behind the angels was him. He was pushing hard, saying, "I must work hard so that the country must succeed." Okay, I do not know how biblical it is that we can hear a message from the dead people, but well, uh, it's so happy that God put me in that position where I could see the spirit of that person. He was a ZANU PF man. You all know him. All right. You all know him. You all know what he's done, terrible things done to the Zimbabweans. And he's dead now. And he's in hell. God made it clear to me. He's in hell, that man. He's in hell. And he is praying hard. There in hell, he is pushing an agenda of getting ZANU PF people to do right. But the ZANU PF guys are carrying on doing evil as if nothing's going to happen. But that God, who's our father, when these ZANU PF chefs die, he told me, son, go and tell the ZANU PF chefs that when they die, they go to hell. But they won't believe it. But I'm telling you, he's going to take them to hell. They're going to burn forever and ever. Now, here's the thing. I'm telling you that this God is stern. All right? And he is strong, even in punishment. All right? As a servant of God myself, God has punished me many times in my life. I know. God can punish you whilst laughing at you, telling you, that is your punishment, son. I love you. Now, I'm saying this because the church is very quiet and silent. Akamirira Mwari. Okay. Kuti Mwari auye kuzotisunungura. Mwari akamirira iwewe kuti uende kwaari unzwe kuti ari kudirector in which direction. I'm not saying do what is in your mind. Do what God is going to instill in your mind. God is going to move you. You will know. When God moves you, you will know. There is a certain direction that God is going to push you towards. And it's not a usual direction of just being silent and doing nothing. It's a direction of really putting in the effort. A effort that is out of your traditional norm, out of your daily routine of safety. Because most of us love to be safe, risk-free. Mnafuna ukuhlupha mna vele ngumuntu we-church afuna ukuhluphana nabantu. And into ze-politics ziyahlupha. Yabo into ze-politics zifuna bona la abantu bemeshonka. Hayi mina vele angifuni. That is the attitude that the church has. We need to move from that attitude and begin to engage the Holy Spirit. I've learned something. This is a spiritual warfare. Okay, this is spiritual warfare. ZANU PF is a spiritual system. So that person, even if ED is gone, whoever comes in to replace ED is still under this satanic system. So the system of Satan is controlled by a demon, which is a spirit. So all of these people are being controlled by a demon, which is a spirit. That is why they have to be initiated in these mountains, Anoyera, so that they can be part of this demonic entity that has got a statue in Harare that people call Neanda, that people call traditional. You know, there is nothing traditional about this thing. This is just Satan. Okay. They lie to us and say it's our ancestors. It's got nothing to do with ancestors. Ancestors are lying. I respect ancestors. I love our ancestors. I love Amadlozi wethu. God bless them. They gave birth to us. They gave us our DNA, and their experiences are still in my DNA as well. But they are not the ones that these Mnangagwas say they are ruling under. They're using the statue of Mbuya Neganda. Mbuya Neganda was a woman who's our great ancestor. She lived and she died. May her soul rest in peace. But she is not the one that is running the country. It's some demonic entity that steals the identity of our ancestors. Because if it comes to you and say, I'm an ancestor, because you love your own ancestors, then you assume must love your ancestors. Therefore, you begin to follow them. But actually, it's not your ancestors. If you were to see your ancestors right now, you will know that they will tell you that this is not us. These things are lying to you. Your ancestors will tell you that worship Christ. Christ is the Lord. Okay. So that demonic entity cannot be removed by this we cannot remove them by ukuxoxa. Okay. We cannot phikisana namademoni. We need to cast them out. Okay, we need prayer, we need fasting, we need people that are going to be locked in the rooms of prayer in the presence of God as the Lord directs you to evict the spirit out of the country. And then you're going to see in the physical things happening. But they first start in the spiritual. The spiritual warriors don't have to be known. You see, you don't have to be known. You don't have to be popular. You don't have to have a position. You just have to take a position of being in the Lord. Go to the secret room that God leads you to. In that secret room, you begin to worship Jehovah and ask His direction. Then you will destroy it, Mnangagwa, and that demon while no one knows you. That's how it works. Then we can set the country free. But we definitely need, therefore, to form a movement which excludes this chete lying brigade. For they're taking Zimbabweans for a ride. They think that we cannot see beyond the lies, the deception of the Triple C, a great betrayal of the struggle in Zimbabwe. And it's going to be a tough sell to those that are whose eyes are closed by this entity that is using the Triple C as a jail for a real, truthful revolution that wants to bring the country to a process of healing, a process of elongated uh, 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 success period. We need real economic development. And that real economic development is going to come from people that are led by the Spirit of God. Because this spirit, Emaswikiro, is a spirit of oppression. The devil is designed to oppress his people. So he uses people to oppress other people. All of these ZANU-PF guys, the only thing that is in their mind is to oppress. They do not know how to build anything because these spirits do not teach them to build anything. Neither does it allow them to build anything. I'm sure even if they wanted to build something, those demons will deny them the 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 the, 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 the access to such a developmental agenda. It will fight them to the core until they do things like Mramba Tswina and just building absolutely zero. And it's all tied into the international satanic network. Satanism exists even outside Zimbabwe, even in high level places, even in the United Kingdom. So how it works is that the demons that are in the UK are more bigger than the demons in Zimbabwe. They are the ones who are oppressive to the Zimbabwean demon. It's a very elaborate system of oppression that involves international witchcraft that can only be spoken about or understood by highly spiritual persons who are involved in these things and who are able to fight back the effects of negative spiritualism. Otherwise, I'm not gonna waste my time talking about it here because there's not a platform for such an understanding. It's too deep for simple political minds. It's something that is uh, in another area of people who specialize in such things. But nonetheless, it is true. It affects us. Global witchcraft, countries witchcrafting of other countries. It's a concept I learned 2 years ago that our country is being witchcrafted by other countries. There is national leaders in other countries who are high level witches. And the witchcraft countries, not just individuals, the whole country will be under a witchcraft spell. Zimbabwe is under a witchcraft spell. The whole country. I once did, I'm not going to mention names of countries, I once did see in the spirit some of the high level witches from certain countries in global politics who fly at night to look at Zimbabwe and cast spells on the nation. But no one will tell you that. But it's true. Therefore, it is a spiritual warfare. That's why I emphasize that those of you that are going to be locked in a room and be led by the Spirit of God to pray for the country is how you defeat these global entities that are using witchcraft against our people. You see, once we defeat those people, you will see even that Chamisa himself can begin to change. Even him, he can just develop to get a different mind and get to have an idea of what to do next. Because ideas come from the Lord. They don't come from your own mindset. They come from the Lord. Okay. As utterly clueless as Chamisa is, once you pray for him, ideas might actually come through his head, and he might turn around and become a blessing. For the Lord can use anyone who's available. He is not limited. He is not limited by men. Neither is he a respecter of men, but he is a respecter of his word and his righteousness. Holy is the Lord. Have a great afternoon or evening. My name is Ngobani Zwan. Let us take the country forward. God bless Zimbabwe.